Hi everyone. This is going to be a very interesting video. However, you guys may or may not know about what I'm going to talk about today. Some of you might already know who are very much interested in astrology. You've done your research. It may be very basic for you. It may come out as very insignificant for you. However, there are many people who may not know the significance of what I'm going to talk about. So it can be a very significant chat for some people. And if you're following astrology from scratch, like in a video one, like I've created, very structured, and you're following that, then it can be something really important for you. So we're going to talk about planets in the astrology, in the Vedic system, and the importance and the meaning of each planet, starting from your sun and moon, because the sun and the moon are, and I'm going to tell you a story in between this as well, by the way, because I love storytelling, and you will remember what I will tell you. Okay, the sun and the moon are the most important planet in the planetary system because they don't move. Sun doesn't move. The solar system rotates, and then the moon is a permanent friend, which is locked with the same side. So it has a wedlock with the planet Earth, and those two are the planets that the first humans saw, and they considered them to be the moon god or the sun god. It's because they were the first two visible thing. Hey, when they woke up, they saw the sun first. The sun god in the ancient Egypt culture, and they had the sundials, the movement of the sun, they see the rising and the, ascending and descending of the sun, rising from the east. And that understanding by humans have always been there, and the curiosity about the sun and its nature. So the nature of the sun is fiery. It's your father, it's your soul, it's your Atma Karaka, which means that wherever sun sits in your astrology, that house has your soul purpose, and whichever planet holds the highest degree in your astrology chart is also your Atma Karaka, which is your soul purpose. So sun is your soul, and the highest degree planet is your purpose. How pure is your soul? The purity of the soul can also be checked by the positioning of the sun. Sun is fire. Sun doesn't move. Sun is very masculine. Sun is very, it's not as fiery. It's not the way Mars is fiery. It's not a warrior. Sun doesn't need to fight. It's just so bright. So it decides your fame. If your sun is strong, you can become a very famous person. If your sun is strong, you can lose your hair very fast because it burns. If the sun is sitting with another planet, it can combust the other planet, which means if the sun is of the lower degree and the other planet is of the higher degree, the sun becomes dominating and it can combust the other planet. So the heat of the sun is too much for the other planet to even, to be alive. So if the sun is of the lower degree, it can combust the other planets. So that's how your sun can decide so many things in your planetary, in your astrology chart. Where it sits, that house becomes the karaka of your soul. It means that that's where your soul belongs. That's where you feel comfortable. That maybe find a purpose in that area of that house. And that's how we see the sun as the ruler or the alpha of the whole solar system. Then we're going to turn to moon, and moon is the mother. If sun is the father, moon is the mother. If sun is masculine, moon is feminine. Moon is emotions. Moon is the ups and downs of the emotions, the ebb and tide of the ocean. It actually controls the emotion, push and pull. It's beautiful. Moon is beauty. Moon doesn't mean that your emotions are unstable. If your moon is strong in your astrology chart, are you ruled by the moon? As a Cancerian, I'm ruled by the moon. But it doesn't mean that you're mentally or emotionally unstable. It just means that you're going to be relying on your emotions too much in your life. And you can take emotional decisions, and they can be good for you as well. Moon is your mother. Depending where your moon is placed, it also decides what is the role of your mother in your life, and how is her nature. How is she going to impact your life? How are you as a mother? If it's a female's chart, your moon can also decide who you are as a mother, or the motherly figure that you have. Motherly, feelings that you have inside you. Moon is beauty as well. So most people with the ascending moon or Venus, they're naturally very, they have beauty. They have been gifted with beauty. Ascending moon, ascending Lord moon, beauty. Ascending Lord Venus, beauty. So that's how the moon, then you can relate to moon, as moon is calming as well. Think about moon as very calming. If you meditate in the moonlight, it's very calming. But moon can be very changing, like when some people feel lunatic. The word lunatic comes from luna. Luna is like the Greek word for moon. And some people feel really uneasy during the full moon or blood moon. Some people really feel uneasy during the no moon. And that is because of the planetary positions. I was born on Amavasya, which is the no moon. I feel extremely calmer, and my meditations are a million times powerful during the full moon or the blood moon. So I actually surrender during that time, not so much during Amavasya. So moon can change, it can change so many things about your body. Moon is a woman, your period cycles are moon. So without the moon, your period cycle is of 28 days, and the moon transitions are 28 days, right? So the month actually is 28 days. The 31-day or the 30-day months were created for financial purposes by the modern world. The ancient would see the moon calendar. So women's periods are 28-day cycle. That's why the lunar rules the women. So our period cycle also relies on the moon movements. That's what moon controls in your life. Now let's start moving from the secondary planets in the solar system. We're going to talk about Mercury. Mercury is a lovely planet. Mercury is a benefic planet. Your solar system is divided into benefic and malefic planets. Planets that are good, planets that are bad. Bad planet doesn't mean they're going to harm you. They have a karmic cycle with you, and they're going to make sure that you pay for your karmas. That's all there is. There is no such thing like good and bad. At least I don't believe that there is good and bad in the universe. There is what you pay back of your own deeds and your will, your karma that you have done willingly. You have to pay back. And the malefic planets decides that. Like Saturn is a malefic planet. Rahu is a malefic planet. Both Ketu and Rahu. But Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury are benefic planet. So let's talk about Mercury. Mercury is your speech. It's the upper part of your body here. So Mercury can also sit in your body. Where is it sitting? Like Mercury decides the speech, your eyes, your nose, all your senses is Mercury, basically. Mercury is your intelligence because it's the upper part of your body here. Mercury is different kind of intelligence from Rahu. Rahu is also intelligence, but we will get there. Mercury is sharp intelligence. Mercury is your talents. Mercury is where you can use your talents in your life. How beautifully you communicate. If somebody is communicating strong, nice, crisp, sharp, brave, and their words are sweet, they have good Mercury. They have a strong Mercury. Mercury is also related to your education. If you have a good Mercury, you are good educators. Like as in you have good education, and you can also teach. You can also be a good teacher. However, Jupiter can also decide whether you can be a good guru, as in guru, the planet in the Vedic language. So that's what your Mercury is. Like, think about your senses and your intelligence. The intelligence that can take you further out in life. How people see you. Rahu is a hidden intelligence, but when people see you, it's like, oh, the person is so knowledgeable and so smart, they have a good Mercury. Beautiful eyes, that's Mercury. Shiny eyes, that's Mercury. Very soothing voice that can lure you, that's Mercury. You have a good Mercury. So these things, your education is Mercury as well. These things are your Mercury. This is what Mercury decides. Moving on to Venus. Venus is a planet of beauty, like charisma, sex, luxury. It's not malefic, but if Venus is placed badly, you can turn into a sex addict. If Venus is placed badly, you can be obsessed with your beauty in a way that you would go for non-stop surgeries just to look good. Venus showcases the color ivory. It can be it can be one of those seductive beauty, the seduction, the art of seduction. Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra was decided by Venus, okay, the world needs Kama Sutra, so I'm going to give somebody an idea to write Kama Sutra. That's Venus. A country can also have, I believe that not only people but countries can have planetary positionings, and a country can have its own birth chart. So India always produces a certain kind of literature. Australia produces certain kind of literature. It has certain kind of people. Well, when the transition changes, something bad's going to happen to that country. It happens. You can't stop. You have to deal with it. India has a very strong Venus, but a very weak Saturn. And that's because it creates beautiful things, and Kama Sutra, sex, lust, but it also has negative Venus sometimes because the lust is on the high sometimes. However, it gave us Kama Sutra, it gave us yoga. Venus can give yoga. Venus is very womanly beauty, very feminine beauty. That all of that is your Venus. If you are somebody who can seduce someone with your eyes, even you have a strong Venus. But if you have a weak Venus, that's going to be an issue. Your partner is also Venus, but if you have a very strong partner placed in a certain way, strong Venus placed in a certain way, you're going to have a very good looking partner in life, very good looking partner. Your sex life is decided by that as well. All the luxury items, all the luxury in life is Venus. So that's how that's how Venus impacts your mind, your soul, and I know the idea of a country having an astrology chart is pretty out there, but I've sat in there and calculated it, and I think every country has its transitioning, every country has its Mahadasha, Antardasha, has a certain trait. Some things are powerful from that country, some things are not, and it absolutely has a birth chart. Even a city will have a birth chart. Even a small piece of land will have a birth chart. Some places are prosperous, some are not, and all of that is just pure astrology. If you love what you're listening to, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.